I started photographing my neighborhood. It was so devastated. I felt that I needed to do a record of what was going on.
There was a lot of crime. There was a lot of devastation. There were buildings that were patched up, that were burnt and never attended to.
People were filled with despair, very little hope.
Drugs being openly sold in the street was very scary for young people, very scary for the community. And it wasn't until the will of the people and the businesses came together that we started to address these issues.
Years ago, we would be afraid to come in this area, but now it's a big change.
It was the community that brought it back. Folks that have stayed here through the worst are now celebrating the rebirth of Hunts Point. And you can tell the signs are up in different colors. People want to grow here. They want to stay here. The incentives of the state, the incentives of the federal government, and the city itself all have helped to bring this together.
The streets themselves have taken on or gone through a whole metamorphosis of changing to where the new construction in the streets with the islands on some streets and the cleanup of the entire general area has created a greater atmosphere, not only for the community, but also a working atmosphere.
We had to provide a secure, clean, and safe environment. There's no reason why children have to walk the streets and see garbage thrown all over. Having a few trees around, they could see the benefit of nature. We saw this abandoned building. It once was a thriving business, and I thought I could revive it. And with the help of the Hunts Point development, we got together and we put a few $1 million into restoring the building.
The Hunts Point Economic Development Corporation is an organization that was started as a support mechanism to identify tax benefits to mediate between the city services and the needs of the businesses.
We were in a food business, and our surroundings were so bad that it wasn't a healthy atmosphere for food. So we decided to clean up our immediate surroundings. By this little park, we took out, without exaggeration, 5 truckloads of garbage.
He put a lot of money into the community, and he doesn't ask for nothing in return, just to keep the community clean.
I always feel we spend more time at work than we do at home. So why not create as healthy an atmosphere as possible?
Uncle Bill did a lot. He's a very good man, and he helps the community and he helps anybody that needs his help.
I said, instead of painting a door just a dull gray or some other color, why not put a flower on it? Here's the jungle walk. It's nicer to look at a tree or a flower or a picture, all hand painted. Birds instead of a bare wall or a dull wall. Anybody in the ladies' room? Look at this. Look at the butterflies in here. And I think it makes us all feel better. When you feel better, you're able to work better.
There's a lot of synergies and a lot of community activity and a lot of activist groups and community service groups that are all working very diligently to improve further the Hunts Point Peninsula.
We've been amazed as to how we can bring this all together under one roof or in a peninsula. It's a kaleidoscope of people that work here. We have over 24,000 people working in Hunts Point. 14,000 of them work in the food distribution center. We also have an industrial park where you find manufacturing. As a matter of fact, in the mid-20th century, Hunts Point was known as Little Pittsburgh because of the steel manufacturing companies. Food is always important, and those services that have to do with food are always needed. We have businesses in the food distribution center that function 24 hours a day. Hunts Point receives about 1 million trucks a year.
Being here is good because we're accessible to all the highways, going anywhere, north, south, east, or west, and it's easy to get in and out of here.
In any type of business, your location is the most important thing. And this location is an ideal location for our vehicles.
Our product is shipped as far north as Canada, as far south as Florida, as far west as Chicago, and merchants in the market ship their produce every day into the Caribbean Basin and Western Europe.
Hunts Point also receives food from 49 different countries. It's a competitive market that looks for the best, and it's well known all over the world. It is the largest in the world. We have guests from Argentina, from Brazil, from France, from Poland, from Russia that are really interested in how we have come back, but more importantly is how benefits and how you encourage businesses to settle here. They are impressed by the levels of incentives that the state, the federal government, and the city just tack on to a company to make it work.
Okay, fine. If you work with me, I'll work with you. The Hunts Point, when we have investigated, they have offered us a very nice package. That means a package to help us to move, to help us with financing.
We were in a township in New Jersey where it was impossible for us to grow and expand anywhere. We had rail siding, which the town at some point made us cover and told us we were not allowed to use it after we moved in. There were changes in zoning every other year where it was just costing us tens of thousands of dollars of wasting money, where this energy could have been put toward new machinery, new productivity, new sales, and unfortunately it's becoming a harder burden for us. And Hunts Point, thank goodness that they've relieved a lot of that burden. We can now focus our energies on what we do best, which is selling and manufacturing.
The Bronx is surprising. I think once people actually get a chance to come to Hunts Point and see what there is to offer and the services and the programs that Hunts Point EDC provides, it creates a sense of security for the businesses.
I think I'm really lucky to have the people around me. That's honestly, because when I started up, I didn't know anything about government benefits, tax benefits, and Con Edison benefit. I didn't know anything, and I was so hard to start up.
The Hunts Point Economic Development Corporation has become the rudder, really the visualizer, and the spokesperson for the businesses here. The businesses always consider our organization either the first place they stop for information or the last place they stop when they can't find the right information.
The Hunts Point Development Corporation is here. They gave me so many the new idea, the government benefits, the other source of benefits and information, how to grow up the business, how to apply the government, the program, which was beautiful.
There's always people that tell you stories about how they could have done something at that time and look what it's worth now. Hunts Point is at that point right now where I think it is the most ideal moment for somebody to invest their business capital in this area. The synergies and the government help and the community help and the relatively low cost that is current today make it an ideal position, an ideal location for somebody to think about putting a business in this area.
You get to meet the business owners and they're very excited about being part of a place that has come back from the ashes with all the public investment in the infrastructure, the tax benefits that have now doubled. You see an area that is alive and bursting at the seams.
Well, HPEDC has brought together the business and the residential community in a way that most economic development corporations don't do. And Josephine is running enormous numbers of programs and has contracts with every level of government.
The Economic Development Corporation sees to it that the businesses understand their benefits under the Empowerment Zone, that's the federal program, the state zone, which is called the Empire Zone benefits, and the city benefits, commercial benefits, that will not only create expansion, but will create jobs for the community. The Hunts Point Economic Development Corporation has been, for 2 years in a row, rated #1 because of its expertise in marketing the benefits of New York State.
We've created almost 50,000 new jobs in some of the most distressed communities of the state. I tell you, it ain't easy doing it in the toughest areas of the state, and it's due to the commitment on the part of people like Josephine and her staff do what seems to be the impossible, to really make an economic renaissance happen in areas which have gone through tough times.
Infrastructure is very important. Housing is very important. I believe that the empowerment zone and the state economic zone designations really boosted this area and made people give Hunts Point a second look.
There's hustle and bustle going on in all the streets, and people from all walks of life coming in and out of the area.
It really is a composite of the world here in Hunts Point.
But it's a young community. In terms of the median age, we have the youngest median age in the Bronx. Something like 23 or 24 years of age is the average age. So that makes it for a very young, very vibrant community, which is also very attractive to retailers because they know it's a growing market, it's young people, and it's attractive in the sense that it's exciting, there are things going on. Presently, we have a lot of cultural institutions moving into Hunts Point. We have a dance company, Arthur Aviles Dance Company, which has moved into 940 Garrison Avenue. We have artists coming in, getting lofts and moving in.
I think we've all been working hard together in order to create a new Hunts Point.
Probably personally what I like most about the Hunts Point area is how the community has seemed to be able to mesh with the industry that's here in the area.
We have been blessed and enriched by the local community, which has been a substantive part of who we are as we grow. Proscolis is a nonprofit organization, and we were founded 6 years ago here in the Bronx with a mission to provide affordable access to technology. We do that in 3 ways. We provide new computers for schools under our Proscolis brand name, which is a Latin phrase meaning for schools. We also provide reconditioned computers for low-income families, and that falls under our Access Computer Recycling and Reconditioning program. And thirdly, we provide access to jobs in the IT industry, and we do that through the provision of a comprehensive 360-hour course for computer technicians.
I live in Hunts Point, just a few blocks away, so everything's very convenient.
I took the training seriously because I found it a great opportunity for me.
Within a week, I was building computers. And within this past year, I feel so blessed to be working for Proscolis.
We think it's important to demonstrate that technical jobs can exist here in Hunts Point, in this section of the South Bronx, and that local community residents can qualify for those jobs, and local residents can train for jobs in the IT industry.
There are many different programs that have come up within the last 5 years. In particular, the opening of a couple of parks that used to be really locations that were very beat up and destroyed. Those locations were turned into parks and beautified for the community.
It is a nice community. It's nice to the eyes. You have Southern Boulevard right there. There's a theater. It's really nice. And then you have the Tiffany Pier where you can see the sunset.
The brownstones here have always remained intact and are very beautiful to look at. There are tenant groups and there are neighborhood groups now to help maintain the streets as well as the buildings. It's a different world right now in Hunts Point. The mayor of New York and the administration are on call, have been on call to really clean up this area, invest. The food center finally has grown and expanded. It's almost like rediscovered this entire area.
This is a great community. This is an effective community. This is a community that cares about each other. And the Hunts Point Tent Party, or the business reception, is an item of the year. It's an economic development party. It's celebrating our growth. It's celebrating where we're going.
This was the only zip code in the United States that did not have a post office.
The post office is the beginning of a renaissance of Hunts Point Avenue. It's a place where everyone is going to come together, both residents and businesses.
The main street, Hunts Point Avenue, now has stores. Before, there was a shopping mart for drugs. That has changed. So there were many factors. It was the timing has been so dynamic. It's been so amazing to watch real urban planning, real urban rehabilitation take place, and then to watch the energies of the businesses as well as the residents soar. just a peacefulness in the streets that you can see at night and the weekends rather than that drug activity. There is a sense of relief, a sense of accomplishment, and a sense of determination to keep it that way. The world's paying attention. The world's paying attention.
Come with me and take me to some of the people who are involved in this project, which is obviously growing and which has got this international dimension. So shall we do that?
Yes, we will. And
at the moment, I'm working for an international audience for the BBC, which has got 140 million listeners. What's been in my memory for so many years was a war zone is suddenly what looks like a very vibrant economic community. I find that startling. Maybe just a few people, but a few very important people have been able to crystallize the problems and find ways around them. I've just been talking to one lady, Josephine Infante, who's obviously spent the last 12 years dedicated to this. Without people like that, none of this, I think, would have happened.
People start their businesses here, from small businesses, family businesses here. It's a wonderful place to start a business, because this is where it all starts. This is where America starts.
This is the Hunts Point Economic Development Corporation in conjunction with Bethex Federal Credit Union. It's been a total collaboration with business lenders and bankers and community residents and other nonprofit organizations.
We're providing small businesses with lines of credit, checking account, savings account, business planning, financial advice, counseling, all types of things that'll help to economically empower the residents of the Hunts Point area.
The people who helped me to start my business, the Business Outreach Center with Awilda Velez, she helped me a lot. She gave me all the advice that I needed, and she's also continuing to giving me support and helping me in anything I need. And then I got the help from the Trickle Up program.
We work with agencies such as the Hunts Point Business Outreach Center to essentially shepherd an entrepreneur from that early startup phase. And then 6 months to a year down the road, the agencies such as the Business Outreach Center can identify other financial instruments such as Accion. Accion offers a micro loan. We do a micro grant program.
Our primary mission is really to provide access to credit to those that don't have access to traditional sources of credit. So we provide small business loans and business support services.
I'm there to wake you up, shake you up, and let you know that you have to start up and get it right and do it all over again. And that's our function, because the first time you do it, you have stars in your eyes. You see a business, you think you're going to take it, and it's going to take you through that red carpet. But then when reality sinks in, you know you have to really do your homework.
I'm going to be on my toes.
You better be.
If I may.
I see the baking place where I used to, baking store where I used to come as a kid, and when I saw it, I said, maybe I'm going to try something new. I said, let me start a store.
When Mr. Gilbert Valle came to the Business Outreach Center on Hunts Point Avenue, he was very open and candid about his experiences here in this community.
The reason why I look for assistance is I'm new to this, and it's time to wake up and get back to Hunts Point.
There's a lot of businesses, and I think that we have to get it going.
The Business Outreach Center here in Hunts Point has helped companies like a hot dog stand all the way up to helping the meat market access $16 million in loans and grants. And then you have the ancillary services that just focus themselves on the needs of the food distribution center. AMP is here, Wallbaum's is here. We have the largest distributor of candy and refreshments, Sultana Foods.
By moving into the Hunts Point area, it afforded us the ability to expand, gave us the ability then to take on other products other than candy. We now sell beverages, snack items, groceries, frozen foods.
So the value of the property has gone up, the value of the businesses have really risen here. There is a vitality and an energy here that people experience when they come here for the first time that just defies what they've read in the press many years ago. The Hunts Point business community has really reached out to the residential community to offer its support in jobs.
Hunts Point Local Development Corporation has helped us in the training of our employees. It has helped us in finding good employees that lived in a local area that we did not know were here.
We bridge that gap. We have been the partners of the businesses here, but we also have been the partners of the residents here.
In trying to help other people, you wind up helping yourself more. Kind of comes back. I'm just happy to see this area prosper. Beautiful, isn't it?